Hopefully this one's the mic. Let me sort this out. Live transition. And there you go. Cool, good evening everyone. Hopefully you can hear me loud and clear, which I'm not sure you can. Is that on? It is on, yeah. Looks like the volume's a little bit low though, so give me a sec. Let's try that. Is that better? Let's have a look. So, any problems, whack it in the chat. I have to look over here for that. It's on a different monitor though, so we'll see whatever is going on there. I'll quickly check the settings. I don't do this enough, that's the problem. Yeah, all good? Sounds good, cool. I don't know if I can add like a gain on it though. But, no, not that I can see. What's this little button do? No, that'll do. All good, yeah? Good. Seems like it's alright, and you can see me alright, and all that kind of stuff. So, it was a little bit of a late call on this one to do a live feed. I usually give you loads of notice on when it's going to happen, and it's over the 10,000 mark. I'm currently fixing up the studio to do that, but in the meantime I'm probably going to have to record a video where I'm sat now, because that's what I was going to do, was do a video again if and when it hit 10,000, and we've hit, we're there. So thanks for everyone that is supporting the channel. I didn't think I'd be making any more videos, to be fair, so a little bit of a shock that one's come out of the blue. But yeah, we're there, so I'll get a video done very shortly, and then release and see what that holds later on down the line. So that was the point of this live feed, was to do that, but obviously I'll answer questions as I always do here. I tend to do a lot of it now on Zoom. I stick around after class for an hour or so, sometimes a couple of hours, and answer any kind of questions that's going on there, but not everyone can get into that Zoom obviously, so schedule these live Q&As to maybe get some weird ideas out your head and try and get it, you know, a little bit easier for you. I know how difficult or weird and wonderful mediumship can be, and I'd just like to take the difficulty out of it, or the myth or the taboo out of it, so it's just one of them. So I'll answer your questions for as long as they're there, and when those questions run out, I'll turn off. So it's entirely up to you how long this lasts for, dependent on the questions that you have. I think everything's working. I think everything's okay. So with that, I'll go to one that was sent in earlier, I assume that is, Carol? Mm-hmm. Or to the page. So it's a question from Lauren, over 3 parts. Am I reading that right? Yeah. So Lauren asks, if we have invested in a course from a well-known establishment in the UK, I wonder which one that is, and we have another 6 months left on the program, how do we go forward in the way that Charlie teaches, serving spirit in that restricted environment? Is that even possible, or will I be doing more damage to my learning? I don't want to lose my investment on one hand, but I also don't want to have undue learning later. Is there a balance? It's not. The question's not so simple to answer, because the place that you're talking about has a very iconic way of working, doesn't it? So I'm not saying they're right, I'm wrong, I'm right, they're wrong. It's just, in my opinion, I don't like any kind of restriction in communication. Now, it's, again, that's quite easy to sit here and say that, isn't it? But the development that we go through is to ease up the processes that are going on, to allow more room in the mind for communication to take place. And if you're learning one way, that is like, understand your statement, you know, you're not allowed to come off of a thread, and you know, whatever that is, there's a tremendous amount of control there. And then if you're coming away from that style, and you're coming to someone like myself, and there's many other people like me, that don't need to understand communication in the statement that I'm giving. I'm just to give the statement because I lack context from a communicator, and I lack context of the client. My judgment on what is evidence, my judgment on whether this is important or not, is irrelevant, lacking that context that we have. So would that be difficult later on down the line in the development? It kind of will be. If you're going from one to the other, there will be unlearning to do in certain aspects. So is there a balance? It completely depends on the style that you want to do, in the way that you want to do it. And I mean, that's on your lap. Now, I understand that there is a tremendous amount of investment involved wherever you go, because it's not like a 2-week course and that's it, you're done. A development is over a long period of time, probably a longer period of time than people set aside. And so them numbers start going up, don't they? That's that, and it can get quite expensive in some aspects. And if you're going to add things like accreditation to that, you're gonna just keep bumping it up, aren't you? So it's not for me really to answer that. It's more about you, where you're at, where you want to take it, how you want to sort of like project who you are and the style that you are, and all that kind of stuff comes into the equation. And it's actually only you that can answer that. In being true to you, isn't it? So, but I'm sitting here pondering and thinking about like the kind of investment you must have made there, and you're only halfway through it. So I understand where you are and the difficulty that you're going to have making that decision. So, I mean, ultimately up to you. So sorry I can't give you more insight. Is there a balance between working really restricted and have complete control and, you know, understand this, that and the other, and work unrestricted and say the stuff that they want to say, and loosening up that control and going more for a surrender approach? I don't think one benefits the other. It's one or the other, unfortunately. So on you, I'm afraid, Lauren. Bloody hell, YouTube's already like, get an ad in now. So I'm gonna not roll ads on this. They can maybe do it in the replay or whatever. But lately, I mean, YouTube's ads lately is an absolute joke, isn't it? I don't know if anyone else watches YouTube other than this or whatever, but I'm always on YouTube, and the ad rate is ridiculous now. So unfortunately, it's looking like I'm gonna have to pay for the ad-free experience, to sort of like skip past all of that, because it is just getting ridiculous the amount they put in there now. So I will try and have your experience of a live feed as pleasant as possible, and no ads. So know that I'm not putting ads in there right now. I've just dismissed it, closed it down. You're not putting ads in. So maybe let me know if you're getting an ad, because you shouldn't be. Unless it's on replay, don't start putting in the comments, I'm getting ads, because it's on replay and there's not much I can do about that. Beekeeper Weaver. She's probably single-handedly the problem, I'm going to say. to that last 1,000, ticking it over to the 10,000. She commented on so many videos and likes and shares, and she got it over the 10,000 on that bit. So you're the reason I have to make another video, really, and the other 9,999 people. But I saw your efforts trying to get it over the line, so I do appreciate it, really. All joking aside. But Beekeeper says, congratulations on the 10k. Have you ever done a reading for someone you do not care for? If so, how do you put those possible negative feelings aside to allow spirit to communicate? Absolutely. I've read for loads of people that I don't. You said do not care for. I can't stand them. Can't stand them, their energy, their ethics, integrity, motives. You know, of course I have. How do I step that to one side? It's not about me. So if I'm in service, that means I'm in service regardless of what takes place in front of me, isn't it? So I want to be a voice for the spirit, the communicator, to get their presence known within the room, which means I'm kind of irrelevant in that dynamic of the client and the communicator. I'm not doing it for the client, I'm doing it for the communicator, aren't I? So it's quite easy to like set to one side that I'm doing something that I absolutely love doing, spend many hours every day doing that thing that I love. And I mean, the ratio's very small, really, for the people that I don't like. But it's not for them. I'm doing it for the spirit world. So the offset of my mind is that it's okay that I don't agree with this person, don't like this person, you know, don't care for this person, whatever term we're going to use there. I'm doing it for the service of the spirit world. So quite simple to get around that in the end. You probably want to look at where the power is in what you're doing there also. So if I care for the opinion of the person opposite me, the client that I do not care for, do not like, etc., and I offer value to their opinion, then that would get in the way of the communication. But I didn't ask for their opinion. I don't care for their opinion. Therefore, the power is retained with self. And they'll have no power over me there because I don't care for it, if that makes sense. Beekeeper again, when you read for a client, can you remember their energy and recognize it in the spirit world? I sometimes remember spirit energy and wonder if I'm becoming too diluted for other communication. I mean, if I've read for someone that I actually know, then obviously I'll remember the client that way. But with strangers, not really. I'm not someone that books someone in, you know, every 6-8 weeks or anything like that. It's not like a return clientele all of the time. That's not the way I like to work or want to work. But the communicator, yeah, I do have recognition of that. I do remember to an extent that I have worked with an individual before, and that would be maybe I've read for a lady that lost her dad, and I've done the read, etc. And then I don't know, she's gone away and told her sister about it, and you know, a few weeks later her sister comes for a read, and I'm like, oh, I know this guy. So I would have that kind of recognition there. That's happened a few times. So yeah, I do remember them from the spirit world. Not all the time, but I do have that familiar, but not with clients, because I don't really have it with return. The only time I would work for someone a number of times would have been in my own development. So a number of times I would work with this individual, you know. But in the reality of the work, then no. Yeah, so hopefully I've answered that for you, Beekeeper. Then we got Carol spamming the chat there. So that's the website if you want information. My Facebook, contact, and all that kind of stuff. That's there in the chat. You just click the link, and I assume it takes it there for you. And then we have, is that Renee? 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 Sorry. I signed up for a 1 year mentorship and paid dearly for it, but I looked to Charlie for another aspect. I have learned so far is great, but I look to others for another angle. Can one have too many tools? I don't think you can have too many tools. I think what you can have is too many philosophies, and those philosophies will 100% collide along the way at some point. So you can have too many angles of ideas from mentors, etc., and then you're gonna come into the problems that carries, you know. So I think foundational, you kind of want to get that up and running via the evidence that you have seen or done from a spirit world, not because someone's saying it, but through your own evidence that you've got that. And then from there, I think you gravitate to your kind of people, and those kind of people will kind of be on the same kind of foundation, with the odd idea out of sync here and there, but other than that, I mean, it all kind of aligns. So I think the philosophies are the issue, not the tutors, more of the philosophies that go with it. I think I've answered that. If I haven't, Renee, just whack it at the bottom again in another way, and I'll try again when I get there in a moment. Rebecca says, I love Charlie's Q&A's. Cool. Thanks for joining us. And then, what's that? Carol's spamming again with PayPal if you just want to send a donation for this. Or there is a little button at the bottom for a super chat, and that just, I mean, the PayPal one will go directly to me. The super chat one, there's a percentage that goes to me, but you don't have to do that. With the super chat, I just tend to bump their questions to the top, because they've donated something. That's all that is. David Spark, looking forward to tonight's Q&A. Cool. I'm glad you're here, David. And then we've got the sounds good. Damn, that jumped. Can't wait for the next video. Cool, Hazel. So, Sean, sound good quality, good beanie, good popcorn. Let's go. Sound like a gamer there, mate. Christine, hi Charlie. At some time during my development, I made the decision that names and dates didn't hold much value, and now that's what people ask for. I struggle with names in person. How do I fix that? I myself have also kind of like deleted it from my mediumship because that's all people ask for. And what a lot of people don't recognize is that although you may give a correct name in association with someone that's in the spirit world, is the evidence supporting that name? And a lot of the time it isn't, but everyone's hinging on this name, you know, so I just kind of cut it out. How do you get it into your mediumship is kind of annoying. You kind of got to allow your mind to sort of be free. So if all of us, how many's in here now? 49, 48, we just lost one. So 48 people in this room, and we all go into like a coffee shop, you would be in receiver mode on listening to who you're being introduced to. So you're not getting ready to reply, you're getting ready to hear their name. And that's the same in mediumship. A few too many people have got a few too many tasks going on. They've got to get this, they're going to do that, and all these processes are taking up that space, but you're not listening. You're listening to reply, so you're getting ready to say something. So that's how you need to introduce it in a very real life kind of situation. To bring this from consciousness to subconsciousness, you would have to be that really annoying person that just keeps introducing yourself to everyone you already know. Hi, my name's Christine. And they'll be like, yeah, I know. Shut up. Stop doing it. And what you're doing is you're just making it part of your daily routine. So on a subconscious level, you're just you're telling everyone that you're Christine, and when you do that, you get a reply, "Hi, my name's Charlie." When you go to the spirit world, because you've been doing it all of the time, you're like, "Hi, I'm Christine. I'm your communicator today. How do you want me to do that?" They'll go, "Hi, my name's Dave," and then you'll have their name, and you can go from there. So it's a little bit of work in that sense, but it will allow it to sort of like be there. I see a lot of names bandied around in mediumship, you know, and they do it wrong as well. So who is Mary to you? Is a fucking question. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be telling you who Mary is. And they're not. They're not doing that. There's very few doing that. And let's say they are working with Mary. They're not giving Mary's name. They're like just rattling off Peter, Dave, Stacy, you know, and it's all loose connection in what they're doing. So if you're gonna do it properly. And kind of present it in the right kind of way as well. So you're working with the communicator, and the name that you're receiving is that of the communicator, therefore marrying it all up. But never ask them who this name is in association with, and it just looks poor. So that's how you're going to have to bring it back in. Probably the latter, the annoying way of, "Hi, I'm Christine." And then people will just get fed up with hearing your name a million times. So Chris, so could you tell me what it means that I keep dreaming of white crows? So I don't know how long I've been on this channel. Go to the first video maybe and see how many years ago that was. And Chris bangs on about these white crows from the very beginning right up to today. He's still got that white crow thing in there. So it's like been a running joke at like Christmas, and randomly when he sends me messages at weird times of the morning, it'll involve a white crow somewhere. So welcome to the live feed, Chris. I hope you're well. Olivia, that's the new Olivia we saw the other day, isn't it? It looks French anyway. So hi, Olivia. I have been so happy to have my first class with you on Wednesday. There you go. I should have read that first, shouldn't I? So happy to begin my learning with you. Cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it. There's my old buddy Ray. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you are well. Charlie's looking good for his age. You can stay around, Chris. I'm looking fucking horrific at the minute, to be fair, mate. I'm looking old. But yeah, I'm getting old. Oh, I'm not getting old. I'm getting vintage, is what I'm telling people. I'm going into the vintage phase of my life. Caroline says, not Caroline, Caroline, happy to be able to catch this. And Wanda is saying, good evening. Sarah, is this the Sarah I upset the other day? No. So I don't know, you Sarahs and Sarahs need to sort of like come to an understanding on which one it is, because I keep upsetting people. So Sarah, whatever your name is, hello, I keep seeing butterflies near me. Is it my mum who passed away 3 years ago? If you are seeing butterflies and you are thinking of your mum, then why not? Why not leave that as that being your mum? I think that's a beautiful relationship that you're beginning to build with your mum that has passed over 3 years ago. So sorry to hear about the passing of your mum, but I don't think it's anyone's position to sort of take that bit away from you. So if you are always thinking about mum as those butterflies appear, I don't see why not. So let's say yes there. Olivia, Olivia said, a medium told me, a medium told me, I think that's meant to be, that many mediums burn their mediumship and they often need to stop their practice for a while. She said that practicing mediumship as a job puts a big pressure. Is that pressure? I think that may puts a lot of pressure on you. I think the problem is with mediumship. I think in Olivia's learning English to work with me, so let's get that on the table first. So that's why I absolutely butchered what she's trying to say in the chat there. But she's talking about burnout in mediumship, and I think a lot of people do suffer burnout. So there's a part of me that agrees with the mediums that have told you that, Olivia. But it's the hunger that goes with it, and it's the saturation of the information that's coming in, and with it goes the responsibilities and the pressures, and all of those things start building up, and it gets a little bit heavy. And I always remind mediums that, or developing mediums, that after maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks of development, they're not that the magic's not as magical anymore, and that's simply because of the pressure they're putting on themselves. I want to be good, I want to get it right, I want to be accurate, and very quickly their focus is on all the mistakes that they make, which will be the video that is being released shortly. And so, long story short, they will suffer burnout if all they can see is the mistakes that they're doing. If they remind themselves time and time again of why they are doing it, and remind themselves of the magic of them doing it, then the burnout will stay at bay. They won't have to worry about it. Further down. Oh yeah. Big pressure because of money. Her advice was that mediums are teaching now because they are unable to continue mediumship every day. She told me about the sort of energy exhaustion. What do you think? So they're doing it because of the money. Is that what? Is that? She said that practicing mediumship as a job is a big pressure because of the money. I don't know. I don't know what other people do. Never, ever, ever make the money the motivation. Never, ever. If you get good at something, then it will follow you anyway. I wouldn't make it the motivation behind you doing the mediumship. I wouldn't do that. That would definitely bring about something like burnout also, kind of forcing the issue, etc. Again, I said earlier in the live feed, people are setting aside like 2-3 weeks for a development of mediumship and expecting to go on and be great. As a realistic kind of window, I did set aside myself a 10-year window before I knew it was going to kind of like move in the right direction. So, and I was pretty much bang on with that as well, with like almost to the month of a decade of intensive development. So I think people need to set aside a little bit more time, or certainly. I mean, the reality is, it's like you're going to start now, whatever age you are. You could be 20, you could be 50, you could be 70. Once you find it, you're never not going to do it, are you? You're never not going to do it. So slow down. What's the rush? Just like remind yourself about the magic, and you'll enjoy mediumship a lot more that way. Where'd I get to there? The ad-free version of YouTube is worth it. Okay, so I'm so sick of the ads. I'm so sick of it. And it's everything that I watch. There's ad after ad after ad. So it's getting a joke now. So I may take you up on that one, Carolyn. How much is it, Carolyn? I don't know. Is that Hanny? Björk? Sorry, probably butchered that. Looking forward to join your mediumship mechanic classes in 25 if a space becomes available. In the meantime, I listen to you on YouTube. Greetings from Norway. Not just you, but anyone that's trying to get onto like a mechanics class of mediumship, any of the theme classes or anything like that, as a kind of like inside thing for you. Like there is always a waiting list, and it always gets used. So it's like, don't not put yourself on a waiting list because it's like, I'll never get on. It always gets used. Not maybe not entirely gets used, but it's not uncommon for me, like 2 hours before a class, and I've got to dip into the waiting list for 4 other people because life has got in the way of other individuals. So bloody hell, Christine, I've just had a notification there from PayPal. I should have asked you if you wanted me to say that. So tough now, I've done it now, ain't I? So that is a very generous donation in PayPal. Thank you very much. Was there a question with it? I'm opening my PlayStation app rather than my... So, is there? This needs my face. Try again. No, it just says thanks. Thanks. Cool, thank you. And she's put one right at the bottom. From Christine. PS, that one. PS, another great Q&A with Kira. Seems the words are hitting my ears in a different way. That is in sync with what I need to hear, and I need it most. Cool. That's as far as I can go at the minute. Okay, so well now Christine's brought that up. I'll pop a link in the chat for medium Kira Elizabeth. Is it? Oh, there's a link already there. So I've recently done a podcast with Kira, and she was a terrible podcaster. She kept me there for 3 hours, asking me bloody questions. So because it ended up for 3 hours, we've had to break it down into like hour segments. And that first hour has been released on Kira's own YouTube channel, which there's a link for it there somewhere. I don't know if it's any good or not. I mean, I'm just answering questions that Kira is bringing forward to me. I don't know, but maybe there's comments or something on it that will maybe be there. So yeah, so maybe if you're interested in this kind of stuff, these lives and podcasts, I've got my own podcast on my website, where a link there, and I can't remember which number I'm up to with Kira now. But they seem to do all right. I mean, she gets the numbers there. People enjoy it. So yeah, if you're interested in that kind of thing, pop over to Kira's YouTube channel, where the latest podcast has gone out. With everything, I might as well cover that bit now as well. With things like this, the lives, the videos, the podcasts on Kira's channel. If you're signed in, just like the video. It just does absolute wonders for the algorithm. If you're not into YouTube or any kind of content creation, you don't understand the importance of the likes and the comments and the shares. It makes the algorithms of these formats, your Instagrams, your Facebooks, your YouTubes, your Twitch, or whatever it is, it really does throw the algorithm in a way that's beneficial to the content creator. So if you can, like them, share them, comment, and it just really, really does do a lot more than you can comprehend if you're not into this kind of thing. So who did I get up to there? Olivia there. Katie. Use Brave browser for your browsing. It will change your life. Blocks ads without doing anything. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. I'll maybe look into that. Where are we at? Carolyn. Do you connect with pets? Cool. Controversial. You're trying to start a fight here. Trying to start a fight. Cool. My God, that went off a little while ago, didn't it? On all their feeds. And what's going on? Can you? Of course you can. Is it the same as with humans? Yeah, yeah, identical. It's yeah, yes. Simple answer is yes. Um, so yeah, but I mean, like, it's apparently it's really controversial now. So and getting banned in certain places. I understand both sides of the argument. In fairness to what went out, if it's happening, at Dems and it's every link and all of the time and blah 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 blah, then I understand that there's got to be some kind of regulation now. But saying you're not allowed to do it at all, I kind of agree with the other side there. Like, who are we to do that? I'll never forget. It reminds me of a story, and I'll never forget working for a woman, and she was like so hard. I mean, like, her face just told a story in itself. Like, you could clearly see she was a real piece of work. This woman. And I ended up going to her in the demonstration, and I brought through her husband of many, many years, and she didn't move her face at all. It was just like, it was solid all the way through, and it was almost like she didn't care. Like, I don't, what's he doing here? It had that kind of vibe to it, and I was like, wow, wow, this is not what I expected when I'm bringing through your husbands. And there was a little bit of curiosity in my own mind, like, I wonder if there's someone else there for this lady. And I remember it was a little Jack Russell dog, and I was like, oh, he's brought the dog with him, the little Jack Russell, and this woman just started howling. She was crying her eyes out over this dog. And I realised, like, in that moment, like, the woman's come today for her dog. Now that was many, many years ago now. I don't know, probably 13, 14 years ago now I did that. And I've probably maybe done one other one in that time till now on stage. So I think that's acceptable in from that aspect. But if it's in every link, every week, all the time, that's a little bit too much across the board. And I understand why the posts were the posts that were going out about animal communication. But in answer to your question, yes, it's exactly the same process that we go through to get a human communication. Oh, bloody hell, Ray's got a question. Wow. My boss passed away just over 2 weeks ago, and I keep smelling his aftershave and the distinctive scent of his cream tobacco vape. Do you think this is just because it's so recent, or I'm aware of him? I would go with the latter. I would say you're definitely aware of him, and over the years you've slowly lent to the idea of this kind of stuff, haven't you? So I would put it more to the latter. In that, could it be memory? Of course, it could be memory, but I think it's probably more the latter in your own circumstance. I hope everything's all right with you and work, if that's your boss and stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be the latter there, mate. You're probably becoming aware. The positive medium. I'd love to hear if you've ever had any dream visitations, Charlie, purely out of curiosity, no pressure to answer, specifically ones that were evidential and not your own loved one. Well done on the 10K. Thanks for that. If I have had dream visitations, it's only been from loved ones. Yeah, it's only been that. It's saying, don't feel pressurized into answering, but yeah, I'm not pressurized. I don't mind talking about things like that. Then it's only been from loved ones, and it's been evidential in its own right, in certain aspects. So more of a private life kind of stuff. I'm trying to achieve something or do something, and they've come in and spoke to me about it, and then that happened, and that sort of stuff, but never random, never ever random. And I don't think my mediumship will ever do random in that sense, because of the disciplines that I implement with my own work. Let me give you a little bit of context on that. So I'm not off a camera, off a stage, out my readings, all that kind of stuff. I'm just Charlie. I'm really normal. Probably most of you would call me an idiot. And I like humor. I like games. I like that sort of stuff, like football, and I'm Charlie at that time. And then when I go to work, then my disciplines are implemented, and I go about my work in that way. And the reason I had to do that was because I was so worried about being that weirdo, where's my mind? Is it in the spirit world? Is it here? Is it that? And I just created this discipline. So everything in my mediumship will fall into the banner of evidential mediumship. So everything that I talk about can and will be validated. And that keeps me in the parameters of evidential mediumship, which then helps me, my discipline, and none of that kind of crazy basket kind of talk will go with me anywhere. So, but that's very deliberate on my part. Ainsley, at the start of my mediumship, I could see slot. My brain's fried there. At the start of my mediumship, I could see slot, but now it's all went black. Could see a lot. Yeah, because the A's beside the S, isn't it? I could see a lot, but now it's all went black. Does it ever come back? I know who's sitting in the power or doing a reading. I know I have the spirit world with me, etc. It's not that it's gone black, it's that and you could see a lot. It probably means that you're just not in the right area now, so you're looking in the wrong place. And the funny thing with mediumship is it's very subtle in that sense. And at first you'll see a lot, and then you'll have an expectation of where it should be and what it should be and how it should be, and now you go do that with all that stuff involved, and you're not quite getting there. So what I mean by that is on a mind map of hertz, can you say that? Yeah. Altered state is anything under this 27 mark there, and so you're in an altered state, daydreamy, meditation, etc., mediumship. You're probably thinking a little bit too much about trying to see, which will hold you up here, meaning you're not there. So you're just looking in the wrong place. So just stop thinking about it, stop worrying about it, and go to that place without the expectation, and the imagery will just start. So it won't be black. Karen, bit of a weird one, but what do you think about using your real name versus a stage name as a medium if you go professional or public? Karen is not a great look these days, but also I am quite a private person and don't like the idea of people being able to find me and my family in real life. But using a different name for the reason would feel inauthentic. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from there. With the perception of someone, like why do they say their name's that, but actually their real name's that, would give that vibe of unauthentic. I understand where you're coming from with that. I'm not sure how I feel about that, to be honest with you. I think I can help you in another angle, because I was painfully shy. And I don't, I wasn't sure about people, really. I am now. I don't like people now, but at that time I wasn't sure about people. I was shy and I didn't like talking in groups and all that kind of stuff, and so I would be really worried about, oh no, like what are they going to do? but I keep it very separate in that sense, you know. So I'm Charlie, and then it's Medium Charlie with all the other kind of stuff that's out there. So that is kind of, and it's got so much easier now, you know. Like I can talk to whoever now and can stand on a stage and do all that because I've grown into that role. So I think maybe you're just thinking that it's gonna be a little bit weird to begin with, but I can tell you that that weirdness subsides as you grow into your role. About the name, I don't know. I'm kind of with you on the, does it come across as a little bit authentic? And I can see that your name's Karen. Yeah, and Karen does have a little bit of a vibe with it now, doesn't it? With that, so I don't know if it's not too far off of it, then I think you'll get away with it. But if it's so different, like if you start calling yourself like Daisy, that is a little bit weird, isn't it? So I'm unsure. I'm not sure how to answer that bit there. But I can tell you that if you do go out with Karen, Medium Karen, that it does get easier, and yeah, you won't be worrying about those things later on. Yeah. David, evening Charlie, always loved the live stream. Cool, David, thanks for joining. Oh, there's Christine's one. I had an experience during a read and not sure what happened. If I'm not mistaken, I dipped below and said something, then popped back up and continued with what I was saying. Is that possible? It's highly unlikely that you went below 7. Highly unlikely. So you can be near 7, but it's highly unlikely that you would drop down and then just pop back up. It's highly unlikely that that's happened. But being nearer the 7 will have that feeling of like no comprehension. Down here on that down near that will have that feeling of, but very unlikely that you've gone one then the other. Yeah. Olivia, thank you and sorry for my English mistakes. No, it's cool, you're learning, aren't you? So imagine me trying to do this in French. Be a nightmare, wouldn't it? And I would make a lot more mistakes. My God, where did all that go? There. Carolyn, I think it's 20 or something a month. Dollars, I assume you mean.
I think that's for the YouTube.
Yeah, ad-free experience. Yeah. Message retracted. Are you swearing at me, Renee? What?
Someone's saying where you keep moving your mics, the sound's a little bit in and out.
What? Move my head? Yeah, I can hold it up. Hold it there if you like. I'll try and keep it. I don't like it in shot though. There. I'll try. I like Kira and have enjoyed the videos you co-created with her. I had nothing to do with the video. Nothing at all to do with it. She hounds me for an appointment. I give her an appointment and then she does the rest. She does it all. What I can, as an insight, I can tell you that it's unprepped. I have no knowledge of what's going on there. Everything is as you see it. I don't think people realise that. So even though Kira and Carol will talk, they will never give me any information prior to a question or anything like that. So yeah, but she's like, is she in here today? Is she in here? She's actually a half decent podcaster, you know. She's going to go on to be good. She's asking the right stuff, or certainly moving in the right direction. So if you haven't seen her already, you should really go and check out her channel. I haven't watched her other videos. I don't know if they're any good or not. I imagine her podcasting is the same quality. I just don't know the people she's had on or what they're about. So, but go check it out. Christine says, last question. Where do we send our suggestions for your new videos you're about to do? Probably to the page, Carol?
Yeah.
Yep, probably there. Or the email, because the email? Because you can set up a folder for that, couldn't you? Either or. Email or Facebook page. Rebecca says in the US, YouTube Premium is $14. So, yeah. So maybe Carolyn is Canadian, maybe. I no idea. Karen, I normally always have to look for spirits, i.e. when I attempt to make a link in a practice read. But at Circle last night, a guy showed up immediately. It was 45 minutes before my turn. I was sort of interacting with him in the meantime. Someone could take a lot of the information I gave, but many parts were way off the mark. I think I made some of the stuff up while waiting for my turn. In the end, I was confused about what was real and what I had embellished. How do I deal with spirits showing up early? You tell them to go away. It's just that simple. If I invited you round here to my home, which won't happen, but if I did, and I told you to be here at like 5 p.m. and you turned up at midday, I just wouldn't answer the door, or I'd answer the door and said I told you 5, so I'm busy now, and shut the door. That's kind of what you got to do here with that. And if you are holding the information, you are definitely embellishing the information. So it's like a pre-bake almost with the communication. Then that would be you adding or working from memory, which means the communicator's not going to be constantly there giving you the information. So the discipline would be come back when we're starting. So I know you're there, but you need to go away and come back where you're starting. And then when you start, where's that man? And then he would step forward and away you go. Caroline says, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bring up a bad subject. I'm messing with you. I'm just messing about. It's just there was if any of you have seen it, there was loads of stuff going on prior to the walkout of the tutors at the college. Where there was a big hoo-ha about animal communication at Divine Services. So it's just been there for ages. People bringing it up. I'm trying to connect with 2 of my pets. Yeah, which everyone that has pets and loses pets, they want it, don't they? I totally get it. Totally get where people are coming from there. So, UK Paul. Hi Charlie, hi Paul. Oops, I realised I sound like a bot or something. A bot. But it's genuinely amazing and free too. Thanks for the live, loving it. A bot. That's cool. I'll have a look at it. I'll have a look if it stops it, but I think where I watch YouTube wherever on my phone, on this setup here, on the TV, I watch YouTube all the time. So it may be just better logging in as YouTube and paying the thing and getting rid of it. So we'll see though. But I do appreciate the offer of the browser. There. Let's have it there. Is that all right now? There. So annoying. Can't wait to start the videos again. Oh God. No, it's cool. It's cool. Damn, I'm late, says Laurie. You're not late. You can watch it on replay, can't you? So it's not an issue. Neil says, has anyone asked you about Meline McCann at all? Some mediums claim to know what happened to her. I've personally never been asked about it. I've never looked. I've never been part of it. All I would need is a connection to Meline, mum, dad, family member, something like that, for them to enter the room. And if they entered the room, I could then go to what we call the spirit world, and I will tell you immediately in that moment. So to date, no one's asked me. Caroline, I have a special relationship with all my animals. My 2 pets that passed, one I had to put to rest and want to apologise to her because I could not handle her last moments. The other was hit by a car. So sorry on both, but you don't need to apologise. The spirit world it's more of a language of energy, and your energy is definitely, just from that message there, is one where I feel like I've got to apologise. I really didn't want to. I didn't mean to. All that kind of stuff is an energy that your animals already know. They already know. So what I'm saying is, there's no reason to carry guilt. They know already. Um, um, what's that? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, okay, right, yeah. Niall says, "Hi Charlie. The sound isn't very loud. It may be my PC, but seems a lot lower. I've got a little bar there that tells me where I'm at, and I'm like 0.01 of a decibel under it clipping, which means popping people's speakers. So it may be your end, mate, because I can't. If I turn that up anymore, the people with earbuds in are going to be complaining that the bass is distorting because of the clipping. So it's as loud as I can get it this end. I may look into seeing if I can overpower it at some point, but I'd have to use this more. I turned it on tonight and I was like, oh man, I forgot how to use all this OBS and Studio, and because I've got to send one to another, but the monitors are saying all the same thing. I'm sitting in the range that doesn't pop your speakers. Oh, how do I say that name? Mariana, something like that. Rosa. Hi everyone. As a clairvoyant, I still struggle with the visions or images I receive constantly. Sometimes I'm not sure if the information I am receiving is for me. Do you have any advice? Um, um, there's going to be a lot of advice there. I mean, I could talk about it for hours, and I don't really want to. As a clairvoyant, you're restricting your mediumship immediately only to a vision. So you are a human and you have 5 senses, which means you can use that 5 senses against the energy that you are receiving. So you can see, you can hear, you can feel, you can smell, you can taste. That's that. And because of the purity of what you're getting, you'll be focusing everything towards the image, and the image, unfortunately, if you hold it for any period of time, your brain will add to it. And what I mean by that is, if I need to talk about a car, if I hold that car in my mind, my brain will give it a road or a drive or a garage for it to go in, a garage for the UK people, a carpool, a road, a curb. My brain will start filling the environment in for that, and the longer you hold it, the more you're going to talk about the image, and that image then becomes embellished by your imagination and your brain trying to fill in the avatar of what's getting there. So one, you need to probably speak quicker about the thing that you saw immediately. Speak, so you don't have time to embellish it. Secondary, I would see the picture and feel what that meant, and that will give you this two-way kind of input to the information that you're receiving. Yeah, and so I don't know if it's your terminology, but as a clairvoyant, the information that I receive through mediumship, if I'm working clairvoyantly, is never for me. It's never for me. it's always to be given away. That's why it's called a gift. I'm giving it away. It's not mine. I'm giving it. So it's not for me. And so I don't know if that's a terminology thing, but so you're not going to be receiving the information as like a walkthrough, a cheat code walk through life from people to navigate you. You're here to learn, and you'll learn through exciting things and traumatic things. You know, it's a place of learning. So I don't know if that's a terminology thing though. So my apologies if it is, if I've got that wrong. She could go as K, says C Steel. So C, whatever her name is, or his name is, or their name is being abbreviated to C Still, and you could go as K the Medium. So there's a suggestion there from chat for Karen. Sean, do you have a new mic? I've got one. Yeah, I've got one here, but this is a new mic. Yes, it's a new mic, and I'm turning my head and it drops out. So the problem is I need the chat there, don't I? Let me see if I can pop that out. Give me a sec. Can I pop out chat? Oh, I can. There. Let's have it there. Downside is I've got to find it. Right, that might work. There you go. So everyone, thanks Sean. Do you have a new mic? As sounds keeps dropping out when you're turning your head. Sorry. Or use the whiteboard. Yeah, the problem is like I've got a condenser mic here, and this is more of a sit on your desk, don't move mic, and I'm moving my head all over the place. So, but I'm not doing them enough. They're not wanted enough for me to sort of like get an arm to sort of like move around with it, etc. So if I end up doing more, I'll buy an arm. It just gets so expensive, all of it. The positive medium. I ask about visitation because I told someone that I know that I only receive communication when I set out to work for spirit because I have a discipline. 2 weeks later, her husband that I had never met came to me in a dream with evidence that she was able to understand. If I didn't know her well, I probably wouldn't have told her about it because I don't like giving unsolicited readings. I just found it interesting that I dreamt about him. It's never happened since then. Any visitations are usually my own loved ones. Yeah, so and I'm kind of comfortable with that, with your explanation of that as well. It's not something I would do. I wouldn't go to people unless I knew them very well, like you said there, and I knew the space was safe to do that. So yeah, I mean, disciplines. If you're around me for any kind of period of time, I'm always talking about it. So it probably won't happen. We're talking about it. It probably happens tonight now, isn't it? So, but yeah, I'm comfortable with what you've wrote there. Katie says, I use my middle name. I had the same feelings. Obviously, it only works if you like your middle name. Yeah. Caroline, that's why I like the video, because it's real and no fluff. Cool. Is that Jolene? Yeah. How might we get better at knowing the relationship or title of the person coming through? It's not for you. So if a relationship or a title for the individual is required, it's because the client needs it. They need that title or whatever it is. Now, if I give you enough evidence to support that individual and you're thinking as the client, oh my God, that's my dad, then the relationship won't be being brought forward for you as the medium, because they know, the client knows, their loved one knows that it's dad, so therefore it's not required there. So in my own mediumship, if I start in with, you know, the first 2 or 3 statements and the relationship is readily available for me, it's because the client needs it. If it's not there, I don't worry about it because the client knows who it is. If that makes sense, Jolene. Alan Wellman, Jesus. Just popping in. I heard his voice say that as well. So cheers. So cool. Thanks for popping in. Caroline, I just looked up and it's $29.99 because I pay for the family plan. Oh, okay. Okay. It's quite expensive though, ain't it, to go ad free? What video ideas do you have for the future direction of the channel? The problem is what I want to talk about is not like is not what everyone wants to talk about. I think it needs discussing, which is going to be quite hard to do. If I'm to move the channel on, it's going to need like depth to the subject that I'm talking about. I think that's going to be there. And then the next challenge is getting people to watch a video like that. So I'll just probably keep trying to answer people's questions for the time being until I can get my head around how I'm going to do that and how that would be titled so the algorithm picks it up. And again, it's just one of those things, but I think the channel should have hit 10,000 a long time ago. And it didn't, which means what I'm talking about isn't wanted. And so like there must be £10,000 worth of videography equipment to record those videos sitting in a room upstairs. And people just don't understand how much time and effort goes into something like that. And then the editing equipment that goes with it, and then you've got to upload it, and then you just hope the algorithm picks it up. And in my own opinion, I think there's a tremendous amount of information within those videos, and they're not being watched. Says to me that it's just not wanted. It's just not wanted enough. And so that's where I'm so reluctant at, like, oh man, like getting this up and running again. You know, there's a lot of people out there that say I want the no nonsense approach. I don't want the BS. I don't want the woo woo. I don't want this. And the problem is with that market is they also don't want to like it. They don't want to share it. They don't want to be part of it, which is the worst thing for that group, isn't it? Because I'll create a video and I go, yeah, I get that, I like what you're saying, but they're not liking, they're not sharing, they're not commenting, and so it's just like not being watched. So it's a rock and a hard place. I don't really know how to navigate that when it's just not wanted enough. Now, if I was to create a video and it was all about guides, like I title it guides, you know, spirit guide, gatekeeper, angel, it'll probably go viral. Because all the people that are searching clairvoyance and mediums and, you know, how to be a better medium and all that stuff is the people that are hungry for that made up magic woo woo. And so they're just spamming it, they're liking it and sharing it, and that's what you're up against. So it's I don't know. I don't know what to do. So no idea, beekeeper, on where to go. So yeah, no idea. I'm on iPhone and the sound is spot on. Where are you from, David? I gave you like a London accent there. So cool. I'm glad it's working. Cool for you. Caroline, say a person's loved one spoke in a foreign language, would the medium still be able to communicate with the loved one? Yes. Energy is universal. Is it knowing that happens in the communication or in the pictures, or can the other side speak in the medium's language? Yeah, I'll receive it in English. Sometimes when I'm working in Italy or Switzerland, I've had the odd sentence come through in Italian or Swiss German. I've got no idea what it means. I'm really ignorant. The Brits are really ignorant to other languages. And it's been right, so as and when I need to speak in a different language, it's been there. But the communicators just give me in English. um, Renee, in my circle, there is a person that constantly can't take any evidence. How can I get this person a spirit that they will have known before passing? You can ask. Oh God, that jumped. You can ask who they want. So they want their mum, so I'll go speak to mum. Again, that's a bit controversial to some people, and that will help the process move along there. If not, I'd make it I'd strip it back to bare bones in the way that you're doing your communication. So don't offer loads and loads and loads of information. Keep your information like you're talking to a 5-year-old. And you'll notice that you'll get more hits that way. So mediums are usually talking too much. Mariana Rosa, thank you. It's exactly what I wanted to know. Also interesting, you mentioned a car and a road path, since I was wondering about the particular image I would receive very recently. Thanks. No worries. Agility bits. Have I read that right? Yeah. Do you think keeping someone's ashes next to your bed affects you spiritually? No. Does any of the energy of the person remain in the ashes? No. No and no. Serious question now. Have you posted any of your demonstrations on YouTube for those of us that are far, far, far away? No. I've done a video on why I won't do that. Because the way I do my demonstrations are like they're like a set. So if I was to go and watch a stand-up comedian, for example, it would start off kind of basic, get the crowd on board, and then slowly they would move through the gears of their humor, and it would get a little bit more close to the mark, a little bit more controversial, and and then by the time you get to the end of the set, it's the hardest of material at the stand-up comedy show. So and how many careers have been ended lately because of something a comedian has said, and there was no build-up. They cut that bit out of the set, and then they post that on TikTok, and it goes viral, and they get cancelled immediately because of that one statement. That's what someone would do to my dem if I posted it online. They won't see the prep. They won't see the prep in the building up, getting the audience to understand what it is that I'm doing. So that's why I won't post. Hi Charlie, I've met some mediums drawing Magdalena. Hi Charlie, I've met some mediums drawing spirit art portraits a day or two ahead of a dem. Is it better to ask the spirits to come back at the actual dem instead? In my opinion, yeah. Just do it there, yeah. For Feather Tarot, YouTube Premium is $19.99. Family in the UK. I have never regretted paying for it. Really? Oh bloody hell! Well, I'm way behind on this, aren't I? Way behind on it. So what? I'm about to ask you a question. I'll just get Carol to look. Carol, what's the family plan involved? So, how many devices do you get, and how many things can we do there? So, Sean, during circle development workshops, etc., I see and hear mediums say that they have spirit waiting to come in and give their messages, but this has never happened for me until I go live. Is this normal? Yeah, of course it's normal. Yeah, of course it's normal. The problem is with the prep prior to it happening is the embellishment that can take place. That's the problem. So you're better off just waiting, like hold, wait, and then right, we're up, let's go. Who's there? And now you do it all real time. I think that you're good to go there. Like, yes, absolutely normal. I understand why people do it. They're terrified. Mediumship is terrifying, isn't it? Like, for standing on a stage or demonstrating in front of people, and so like I'll just get a little bit ready and what have you. I understand why they do it. But yeah, you're normal, mate. In that sense, I can't say across the board, Sean. I can't say you're normal across the board. I don't know your traits and such. So, Jolene, thanks, Charlie. And Jolene again. Yes, you said my name right. Oh, cool. Jumped again. Susan, hi Charlie. I enjoyed your guides class. Can I suggest you sell tickets for a large Zoom reading and post clips of it, including teachings like Matt Fraser? Can I suggest you sell tickets for a large Zoom reading, like a gallery reading in that? Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't. Again, I wouldn't allow recording to take place there. The problem is I do a Zoom meeting and they can just record that there, and you don't know anything about it. So maybe one day, maybe. What is that? Caroline, it's not unwanted. There is a process to have YouTube get your video out there. I did social media for years. You have to be consistent. Oh, no, I was consistent. There's 400 videos on there, 3 a week. I was doing 3 a week. 3 videos a week I was doing for like 3 years. So it's not about the consistency. It's like people want the stuff, don't they? They want the information, but they don't want to like it. They don't want to sign in and like the video. I spent £10,000 on camera equipment, and it took 8 hours a video, 400 videos, 8 hours each the video. So that's cool. If they don't want to like it and they don't want to share it and they don't want to comment and they don't want to do it, I won't fucking do it. It's nice and simple, ain't it? It's like, it works both ways, doesn't it? It's free. It's free. All you got to do is like it. So it's so yeah. So it and that's what I mean. It's not wanted enough. Like, you look at, I mean, I can call one up. I'll call a video up. Let's do. Oh, can I log into Studio while I'm live? Let's not do that, just in case I can't. Videos dashboard. Is that gonna let me? I'm not sure it's gonna let me. Content. So like, so what? One of these. Why don't I get the communication I want? You know, as just as an example there. And it's had 9,500 views in 4 years. And we've already discussed that in tonight's live feed at certain points. Age in mediumship, you know, everyone banging on about how to get a relationship, how to get a title, how to get the age, how to age in mediumship. 4,900 views in 3 years. It's just not wanted. It's just not. People don't want it. They want live readings. They want. That's what they want, isn't it? And they want psychic work. Talk about me, the individual. Talk about me. What we're talking about is a very niche area, and it's just not wanted. So I don't get me wrong. Look, I said to the community, I'll do you some more videos once and if it hits 10,000, and I will do that. I'll make some more videos. But it will come to the point again where I'm going to get to the point where I'm like, is this worth me doing this? So we'll see. I mean, oh, he's a Geordie. David's a Geordie boy. So, yeah, I was going to attempt a Geordie accent there, but I won't bother. Emma says, "Hi Charlie, saw you at Hitchin and you were great. Could you please explain more on how to be able to hold awareness for evidence and experiences you may not have experienced yourself?" It's just about passing off the information. It's really easy. If I want to talk about a phone, I know about the phone, don't I? So it's really easy for me to talk about the phone. If I didn't know about the phone, I'd have to say like it's like a device. I think what I need to say is I can make a call on it or send an email on it, and the client would go, "Oh, you mean a phone?" So I'm describing it enough for them to know what it is that I'm talking about. And over many, many years of doing that, you'll build up a vocabulary of what it is that you need to be talking about. So it's never off the radar. You just got to explain the experience that you're having well enough. So to do that, imagine you're speaking to a child. And that will come across quite simplistically at that point. Philip asks, "How do you sit in spirit?" You just sit down, mate, and you just relax. You just chill out. It's that simple. Yeah, that's kind of it. It's not too it's not hard at all. I don't know how else to say it. Mediumship's the easiest thing I've ever done. The easiest thing. And so I just silence my mind. So, which is probably the hardest bit, isn't it? Is silencing the mind. And once it's silent, that's it. I'm there. I'm in that place. And then it's kind of permission based. It's invitation. And so that invitation will then go out. Team members, guides, angels, whatever terminology you need there, will know that the invitation has gone out, and you are sat in a place of receiving. That there's no more to it than that. Carol Lynn, you have everybody engaged with this video. Ask people a question at the end of the video and tell people to post their responses in the comment. Engage with comments, also collaborating with channels. I did that. I did do the comments thing with that. But collaborate with who? Like, I don't agree with a lot of people. Yeah, I'm not sure collaboration would work because yeah, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure there's someone else like me on YouTube in this line of work to collab with. Yeah, Katie, your past videos raw. Maybe you could re-edit and update the intros and re-upload. It's kind of a refresher. And you don't need to spend time and effort recording them again. The content is so fantastic. Yeah, I get it. Is that jumping that much? Karen says, "Don't give up making videos even if you feel people don't want them. You are making history with your approach. I know you're going to be very annoyed that you read that bit out loud. Yeah, you've watched too many videos, haven't you?" And I'm definitely not reading the next one. So, Beekeeper, I encourage all of us to... Yeah, okay, I'm not reading that. Great people want to see you work. Yeah, I know, I absolutely know they do. But it's like, I want to teach, don't I? So I've got to go to the US. So I've got to go to the US because I want to teach. I want to go to Canada. I want to go through Europe, and I have to go and do that. It works the other way. You know, you want to see if. It's like you wouldn't jump onto a live feed with Taylor Swift, would you, and say, "You need to come to me, you know, you need to come here, you need to come to my place and sing a song for me." You would never do that, would you? You would, to get on a Eras tour, you would have to get on a plane and fly to the UK to be part of the Eras tour, wouldn't you? That's how that is. So they want to see her work. They go to her, don't they? Probably not the best analogy, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at. So I don't mind. I travel all the time, all over the world. I travel all over the world. So I'm doing the very best I can without it going down the realms of TikTok, or because it just looks so ridiculous. It looks so bad. So, um, Dr. Melba says, always like your videos, they're great. God bless. Thank you. I always loved your videos like them. Cool. Agility, there are 65 people watching, 38 likes. I don't understand why people don't do the like button. Welcome to my world. Agility. Yeah, don't get it. Never got it. Question from Lillian. Hi everyone, got a question about trance. As English is not my mother tongue, I'm wondering about trance speaking. I'm going to join your trance week in September, and I'm asking myself, is it better to speak in my mother tongue or in English during the exercises? Would the quality message be impacted in any way? Zero way. You want to talk in mother tongue, talk in mother tongue. Doesn't matter. It's energy. You'll be absolutely fine. If you're really comfortable speaking in English, then you can choose to do it in English if you want, but it's not even a concern, Lillian. So, Karen, how are we doing for time? How long have I been on? Already? Bloody hell. Goes that fast. I haven't even had a drink or anything, so... Karen, next question. Since I started this whole path of my life and has been an utter shit show, it's a personal development tornado. It has not been love and light. Occasionally, absolutely magical, but mainly just forcing me to look at the worst parts of myself and rebuild it all over again. Does it get better? It absolutely gets better, and you will be a much better individual to be around because of that work that you're doing. So much, much better. It's worth doing. So well done you for doing what you've had to do so far. Is Sean still here? So Sean, is this better for you? Putting the chat there. I imagine it's visually better. You get to look at my bloodshot eye that I spilt shampoo in earlier. So before I jumped on, see. So off camera and off the stage and not being a medium, I'm an idiot. I really am an idiot. So it's yeah, Ali. How do you maintain positive belief that you can make it as an evidential medium in the early days? It's hard when so many out there are taking shortcuts or don't even want a new face around. I mean, for the best part of 7 years, Ali, they hounded me. Leave, go, you're doing it wrong. Hate him, don't like him. But my love for the spirit was much stronger than them trying to push me away. So take from that as you will. Renee, found you this year, watched your videos and like them no matter their age, but do you get recent comments on videos? Yeah, I get all the comments. It's just, I've got a little app that does it. But again, Renee, it's the comprehension, I think, with what takes place. To edit and upload that video, it will take 8 hours. Just that's one video. I work 2 nights a week on stage, and the other 5 I'm on Zoom around the world. And I have to, every couple of months, I have to have a couple of days off because I'm just tired. That if I was to answer all of that, as well as making it, as well as doing the stage, as well as doing readings and the teaching, it's just so much that I'm doing. So when the interaction on the channel slowed down, it was a part of the diary that I was like, I'm just gonna put that there for now, so if there's momentum with the channel and with what they're doing, then I'll be straight back on the comments the way they are on the videos, and then it will kind of uplift, won't it? But it is, I know people are saying, I know people behind this camera will be saying that's not how it works. You put out the content and people will then come and they will do this and do that. But it's I don't do mediumship the way everybody else does mediumship, do I? I'm just not doing it. So if you put the effort in, I'll put the effort in. I'll answer all your questions for free, by the way, for free. And you're going to benefit from it, which then you'll give to someone else. So it's one of those. So CM Charlie, I found you on YouTube over a year ago. I then continued to look for more of your videos. The same ones keep repeating. I looked you up earlier today, and now I see many that I missed. I think that's the problem when you're on a phone, isn't it? When you're on the desktop, it's just like row after row after row of videos, and you know which ones you've watched because they've got a red line at the bottom, haven't they? So yeah, or put the library in save for later, and then as you watch it, delete it, and then you know that you've not missed one. So, which I usually do to the channels that I want to keep on top of. Sheila, on your last Q&A, I mentioned that my brother had around 6 months before he passes. Sadly, he was sooner, 2 weeks ago. He shared moments of him I'd forgotten about. Thank you. I'm sorry to hear that, Sheila, and I do remember you saying that. So sorry to see that he's gone sooner than you would have, you and your family would have hoped. Wanda, I've watched many of your videos, like them all. I never comment on them though, so guess I'll rewatch them and comment. They are definitely worth a rewatch anyway. Yeah, it's like, I think I don't know what it's like today. The algorithm's up and down all the time, but I know that those elements work for the algorithm. So I think as long as you're liking it, I think that's absolutely fine. Like, don't go back all over them for the sake of going back over them. Familiar with the foreign language that the communicator spoke or speaks, do you just say what you are hearing them give? Yeah, that is one way of doing it. You'll be like, he's trying to say this, and you'll say it, and then they'll be like, yeah, that means whatever it means, even if it's not your, yeah, exactly that, Hazel. Even if it sounds gibberish, yeah, you can say it, and they will know, the client will know what that is. Have you seen the YouTube channel We Don't Die? I haven't, but I will. So let me write it down. We Don't Die. I'll have a look. Katie, this is ultra annoying and you might hate it. Hold on a minute. But probably posting short clips of your old videos to social media with a link is another way of reviving content. Pay someone on Fiverr. Yeah, you could do a snippet of it. I mean, they are getting on now, though, aren't they? And I probably look like a different man now. So, I mean, again, I'll start it and I'll be motivated and I'll get into the swing of doing it all again and that sort of stuff, and it'll be there. It's just how long it'll be there. I'm just unsure. Matthew, hi Charlie, sorry I'm late. Was in Healing Circle. Okay, we can forgive you then, Matthew. Do you do physical mediumship? I was really looking into it for a big chunk of my own development, but I kind of put that on the back burner for a bit while I was doing the stage a lot. So have I done it? I've done lots of it, and I've got my trumpets and all that kind of stuff that kind of goes with it. So yes, have I done it? Yes. Magdalena, a basic question perhaps, but how is trance healing different from other kinds of healing? How does the medium feel the difference? I'm not sure the medium does feel the difference. If Matthew's just finished his healing circle, Matthew is in a state of awareness where he would feel the healing taking place. With trance, you don't do that. You go to trance, and that's when below the it's the chat. I was like, where's the camera gone? Below there is logic and judgment. You don't have awareness below that. It's silenced. So below that is trance. So you won't have awareness that you're doing healing or the feeling of healing. You won't. It just won't happen. So that would be the difference. How does the healing work differently? I'm not sure the healing is working differently in that sense. There may be levels of intensity that would be different. Maybe I'm even reluctant to say a purer form of it, because trance is in its own right is a form of mediumship, but healing is just in itself is magical, isn't it? So is it purer? Maybe it's a little bit more intense, but there's different roles for different things, and people obviously have different interpretations of what even trance is and what even healing is. So yeah, I'm not sure we're all going to end up on the same page with what that is. So it's not a basic question. It's actually a very, very in-depth question that would need a lot of time to go over. What is healing? What is trance healing? Um, but in would the medium feel the difference? The only difference they would feel is one would feel like they were in trance, and one feel very deliberate in their healing. That would be the difference. Susan, post you do a reading on YouTube. We learn by watching, not only by listening. Yeah, I totally agree. However, I will not post a reading on YouTube. I mean, I wouldn't like, what's your name, Susan? I wouldn't like your doctor to post your last appointment on YouTube. I wouldn't like that. Very, very private, intimate conversation may be taking place. It's not for viewing in that way. And maybe we're mistaking mediumship for a level of entertainment on some level there. It's not about that. It's about communication and the coming together, which is very intimate between the medium, the client, and the communicator in that moment, isn't it? And if you're a developing medium, which I assume most of you are here on a live feed, it's not about my mediumship. It's about what we're discussing and you making your mediumship better, isn't it? So I'm not really sure. So I don't think I'd ever post a private one-to-one reading in that sense. I'd maybe later on down the line consider doing like a live dem, but it wouldn't be recorded and put anywhere. They never age well. If you go and watch some of the dems that have been recorded many moons ago, they look terrible now. Absolutely terrible. And people like us that are new to it, and we go in and we search it and we watch it and we're like, whoa, that don't looks a bit shit, that. So I don't think it ages well. I don't think it comes across well. I don't think any recording would capture that experience within the room that is the spirit world. So there's not many pros for it. Dr. Melba says, just message you as I want to pay for tomorrow's. Oh, yeah, all done. Okay. Olivia, I heard you saying that it is good to spend time with your spiritual team outside of meditations. What do we do during this time? We could be long if we don't meditate and no distractions. Look, the way that I done it was I would have sat there for a while, and it would have just been an invitation. Look, I'm here if you want to join me. And there would be times where nothing that I was aware of would have happened, nothing at all. But I always knew that the spirit world was intelligent, and I've always known that they will do their absolute best to get through to me what it is that they want to get through to me. So even in the nothing times, I had an understanding that something is taking place. I absolutely knew that. And so sometimes it would be that, and then other times it would be like a roller coaster of emotion. So I could be like, I could feel like I want to giggle, I could feel like I want to cry, I feel sad, I feel frustrated, and it was just like this like whirlwind of emotion that was going on, which then later on I kind of realised like, oh, that's helping me understand the different types of emotions within mediumship. Sometimes it would be colour. I'd be aware of all these weird and wonderful colours, and it could be absolutely anything. I don't want to give you like a fixed idea of what it is, but I would just sit with the invitation of join me if you want. And I'd done that for like 3 years. Every Monday for like 3 years. That's what I'd done. And then I just got so like into it that it just become regular. It was just like, you know, I feel good when I do that, so I'm going to do that more often. So most times now, most days now, it will be the morning. I'll get up, I'll do whatever it is that I need to do, and I'll have a 5-10 minute moment with that I call the spirit world. And I'll just sit, I'll just wait, my invitation is that come and join me for a minute. And a lot of everything there happened. Like, it hasn't got to be all crystal setting and all that kind of stuff, so it was I wouldn't overthink it. I would just go sit and invite, and if you're aware of something, great. But I wouldn't, no distractions. Like, where are you going to do mediumship where there's not going to be sound? There's always going to be distractions. So learn to do it with distractions, because it's going to benefit you later down the line. It don't matter that there was a loud noise. I could hold my attention. I could hold where my mind is. That would be my advice in things like that. So, oh God, that jumps so violently. Sean, sound is spot on, cool. So that works there with the chat there. So, the positive medium, Karen, same thing happened with me. Whole life turned upside down about 6 months after I found mediumship. I have to say, on the other side of it, it gets better. You got this. Totally agree with a positive medium. Have you ever seen or communicated with an angel? Nah, I not. There is a story. Not one that I'm going to go into now, but there is a story. I have shared said story, and I met someone with an angelic name, shall we say, but they wasn't a person with wings or anything like that. So not in the way that you're asking the question, but more one of normality, and they were there 1 second, gone the next, and it was a little bit weird. So, but not in the feathery, big winged type person that you're thinking of, or I assume you're thinking of. So. Philip says, I have time to sit in spirit a lot during the day. Does spending more time in spirit in early training be beneficial? Whatever you think you're right. So if you believe it will, then it absolutely will. If you believe it won't, then it absolutely won't affect any way, shape or form. It just, so whatever you think you're right. If we approach it from another angle, when I set the invitation to be in company with a guide, a team, a fill in the blank, I liked the feeling of that, so I enjoyed that, and I felt like I was meeting someone, like meeting for a coffee. So me and Philip are gonna meet tomorrow, and we'll go and have a coffee, and hopefully that would be a nice coffee, and we would have a pleasant time, and then we'd go about our day, and I would come home and go, I met that Philip, and he was a nice guy. That's kind of how I treated that. It's like, oh, I'm going to go and see that today. I'm going to go and be part of that today. And so because I did it in that way, it was an enjoyable experience. A lot of people are like, oh my God, it's a chore. This book says I've got to sit for 15 minutes every single day, and I can't silence my mind, and I'm waiting for them to give me this big aha moment. And that's just not mediumship. So I went because I wanted to go, and I wanted to sit with them, and whether I'm aware of that or not. I just wanted to be part of that because I felt good for it. Therefore, it was beneficial for me. So entirely how you approach it. Hey. So, yeah, I see that you saw that, Karen, from the Positive Medium. So, oh, it jumps again. Kate, I'm interested in workshop. I will look up your email. Oh, you've done that. Does age affect the ability? No, absolutely not. Does age affect the ability to become a medium? Absolutely not. No. Katie, you can that's you. Don't worry about it. Haley, retracted. Are you swearing at me, Haley? Susan, people give permission to allow clips for their readings for you to use. Look up I definitely won't be looking up Tyler Henry. And Matt, They are amazing mediums and post clips from readings to educate to prove life after death. I would disagree that Tyler Henry is an amazing medium, but we haven't got to get in a argument about that. But yeah, that's not. I don't want naming lights and, you know, make millions and millions and millions of dollars from mediumship. That's a different. That's a commercial approach to mediumship, which is not what I kind of want. Messaged Haley, angels tend to appear tall but not with wings, so I've read and been told. Not swearing at all. Angels are interpretation of the individual, aren't they? They're just interpretation. So some people will see them with wings, without. Some will see them big, tall. Some will see them average, normal. So agility bits. I believe I saw an angel in meditation. Yeah, then that's cool. Then you don't need that clarification anywhere else, do you? You believe you saw an angel in your meditation, then that's you and your magic, your intimacy with that of a spirit, whatever. That doesn't need to leave you. That's just your experience. We're at the end. We're at the end of the questions. So, Carol Lynn, are there any books on mediumship you recommend? Absolutely. Get a pen. None. Throw them all away. Do not read a book. Do not read a book. Get a development. Get a kind of development under your belt. And so when you read the book, you have a platform to what you can agree or disagree on. Then read the books. Then I'll give you some books to go and read to see what you want to do. Yeah. Haley Hughes, do you believe Tyler Henry is a real medium? I believe that the ability will be there. Everyone can be a medium. In what they're doing. I don't think what he does on the TV is mediumship. I don't think it's that. Will you write a book? Yeah, maybe. Thank you for this chat and looking forward to I'm sorry, Sheila. I went to look for a pen. The thing is, I'm in a financial tight spot, and that's why I asked. The learning won't be made from a book. I promise you, it will not be made from a book. The learning will be your experience, your evidence of what you find within that relationship of what you've got, and then when you hit a stumbling block, you'll find that you've got a question, and then that question needs to be answered by someone that you're kind of relatable to. That won't come from a book. You've got to remember, the books have to sound good because they need to be bought. So there's a lot of dramatization there. There's going to be a lot of embellishment, maybe, especially if it's a publisher that's paying a medium to write the book. That the publisher will have their own swing on it. So it's certain aspects of that will be fulfilled. So I understand the financial tight spot. Totally understand that. Yeah, you'll be. Yeah, there'll be. Reach out to me, Carol Lynn, on that fact, because I think things like I do like a working meditation that's called the corridor, and the corridor I've got like a base that the corridor will be, but you'll learn a lot more from the additional bits that you can add to the corridor. So with that, just see reach out to Carol. And we'll sort that out. Hazel, I love when you share your opinion about some other famous mediums. I agree there is a bunch of shit out there and that people think is awesome. Agree about Tyler and others. Look, I really don't mind. I just wish they would tell the public that I'm a psychic medium, and on this TV show, there's going to be 95% psychic with a sprinkling of 5% of mediumship. I wish they would tell the audience what they're doing. And they're not doing that. They're making it sound like the psychic information is a spirit world, which angers me. It annoys me. You're miseducating. It's misinformation for that of the public. So when people stumble upon it, they think that's mediumship, and then they go about a development that they think is mediumship, and then they come up against a medium and tutor, like me, like all the other ones that you know, that are like, you're not doing that right, it's incorrect, that then they're annoyed and offended by that because of these people that are doing things like that. So if you're going to do mediumship and do it properly, especially if you're on the TV. So yeah, so that will just spark into everything. So thanks, no worries. Olivia, what would be your advice for me to practice or work on stuff until my next class? Can't wait. Practicing readings with family and friends, or really enjoy. I mean, if you're gonna do that until the next time that you have one of my class, what do I recommend is maybe understanding what it is that you're doing and how you're doing it. What I mean by that is, if you're always talking about a passing condition, you're always talking about a relationship, you're always talking about that thing, then why are you gravitating to the same kind of things all the time? What is your pattern? What is your routine? What is your comfort? And then try and break it. Try and break that comfort, that format, that way, and you'll notice how fuller your experience will be in mediumship. Magdalena, what parts of mediumship do you think are most rewarding for you, and where you are now, where do you see your development going? Does one see that in the here and now, or more in hindsight? I think you see your own development in hindsight. I think you do. So I think you're at a point where you can sort of look back and go, okay, maybe I'm doing okay now. Most rewarding for me is getting across the light bulb moment in another mind. So I discuss something, I explain something, and it just ding. And I literally, and there's the magic, gotcha. And it's like, wow, there's that moment. Their life's about to change now. I absolutely love that. So that's my magic. Yeah, love it. Yeah, I know Martin, actually. I know Martin really well. So Martin Twycross is as ethical as you. We need more honest mediums. I know Martin. I've worked at his centre a number of times. So I know where you're coming from. We kind of had the same kind of localized kind of stuff, and the input from that local area would have been of the same area. So yeah, I haven't seen him for a while, actually. Do you actually hear spirits in your head, or do you just sense what they want? It's both. You can do both. I think a lot of people mistake the feeling of what they're saying in their head by saying they are telling me. I think that's a mistake, because if that's wrong, then you look terrible. So, but it is actually both. You can do both. Christine, okay, I lied. How can I help the students that struggle with getting the difficult or unpleasant aspects of a communicator? They stay safe with reads. I think that's more of a discussion. You need to have like a talk, like story time. Like have an exchange of stories within their realities. And just like a Q&A, like just have a story time, talk about some traumas, some weird, some wonderful, and then ask them why stories like that in this room are not coming out in mediumship. And it's almost like a ding, should have done that. they will always stay safe because they're terrified of looking bad. So if you want the blunt approach to getting someone to get out of the safety, you need to address the ego, because it's the ego that's keeping you safe. Like, don't do that. Like, you're going to look an idiot. What if you're wrong? So it's an ego-based problem. So you have to talk about the ego, or do it a fun way and talk about some weird stories and wonderful stories, and then ask the student, why is that not happening in mediumship? And the very next link, they'll find some weird and wonderful stuff. Olivia, thank you. Your advice sounds like a mystery to me as well. The readings, I didn't have the feeling to be in a pattern, just saying what was coming. I'll think about it. Yeah, a lot of people that have a pattern, they don't know they've got a pattern, and they'll say to me they don't have a pattern, and then I will watch you 3 times and I will write down your pattern and then tell you that you have a pattern. There's your pattern. And their mind is blown, like, oh, I didn't realise I did that. But that's why you come, isn't it? So, but you asked me what to do in the meantime, so do more readings and see if there's anything familiar. So, and from that familiar, why is it familiar? Cool, right, I'm going to round it up there. I mean, that's a solid 1 hour 55 minutes, and by the time I do this bit, it'll be a solid 2 hours, won't it? So, so thank you for everyone that's come along this evening and shared your questions with the live, with what you're going on, shared your advice or your opinions on the videos and the directions of the videos and all that kind of stuff. I do appreciate it, and I will take it on board and have a think and that sort of stuff. So, but there will be videos coming, because I've got the decorators in trying to do a studio for me and that sort of stuff, so that shouldn't be too long. In the meantime, I'll probably just record them here. Very familiar for some of you, this little space, so I'll do the video here, and get them out in the meantime. So this live feed was just in a celebration, say thank you for being part of the 10,000 that have done it. I didn't think it would ever get there, but here we are, we've done it now. So yeah, so if you want any information, you saw all the links. If you want to go and watch that podcast, you go to Medium Kira Elizabeth's channel for that. By all accounts, people are enjoying that one at the minute. Think that's it. I'll put this on replay, so if you want to comment under it, and you know, this has had 330 views already. This live, to 66 likes, and that's what I'm talking about in that sense there. So if you can do it on replay or comment or whatever, it don't really matter, does it? Anything will be appreciated. If you're not subbed, that's free also, isn't it? So whatever we can, whatever you can do there, I do appreciate it. I may sound like I don't, but I do appreciate it. Yeah, so thanks for coming along. I'll leave the end screen on for 5 minutes, 5-minute end screen. If you want to ask each other questions or say bye to your buddy or anything like that, that can go on the end there. And then I'll just end it, and you'll see it on replay in about an hour, I suppose, maybe less. But yeah, so if you just called it at the bottom there very quickly. If you got any questions for the next one, send them to Carol. She'll put them to one side and ask the question. I'd rather you be there for the live and ask your question. That helps the numbers a little bit more, doesn't it? If you've got 6,000 people in here, the algorithm tends to like that channel when there's 6,000 people all logging on at the same time to ask questions. So, so yeah, so put it around your little communities, your people, the discussion, whatever. I'm not fussed with things like that, and I'll set up a new link, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time from there. So bye for now. Cool. So I'll put that end screen up. I'll leave it 5 minutes, and I'll see you all next time.